Looks like it was worth the wait for this week, last week as well. If you were watching, we have got some lovely setups happening right now, playing out. The New Zealand is gaining strength as we speak, and we have got our plan playing out. Before we begin, my name is Dima. Welcome to today's market analysis. It is Thursday, and we're going to, as ever, catch up with where we are in the market and see what we've got coming up next for today and tomorrow. We do have some US news in a bit, so let's have a look at that too. Let's begin then with the dollar and the calendar, our pairs that we were looking at here to the right. Dollar is still stuck in this range as we looked at before, and therefore we are not really interested in it at the moment. As you can see here on the daily picture, we are just ranging and there's no clear direction so far, even though we've got lower lows here. Let's have a look at the calendar and see what's going on today and tomorrow, what we've had this week. And here we are on the calendar. Thursday, we've got dollar news that has passed, New York session, euro news has passed, and now we've got a big one, the Fed chair speaking, and let's see where that takes us with the dollar. We don't have dollar pairs this week, but we do have yen pairs. Yen is sometimes affected by dollar news as well, so we'll just pay attention to that, but otherwise we should be okay. However, still manage your risk no matter what, of course. After we see today play out, then tomorrow may be more interesting. We have pound news to bear in mind. Let's see where that takes us. A bit of euro and again dollar. So the two main ones are the euro and the pound for today and tomorrow. And then let's see what we've got, if we have any continuations, any other setups with the other pairs we looked at. All those on the short list. Okay, let's skip the dollar for now. Let's begin with where we looked at earlier, starting with the pound yen. Okay, the pound yen, we wanted to get a better price in order to buy to the next level. We have not had that. We've not reached into the level. We've just been ranging and ranging. The question is, are we going to reach there again or are we going to go higher? Let's adapt to the market and see what we've got at the moment. What we're seeing is, as we moved lower, we went into this trend. We then broke it, this retracement trend, I should say. We then broke it. We created another higher high. So it seems that we are now back in the bullish momentum. Now, where do we go from here? Well, if this is the new low, the invalidation would have to go higher. The question is, are we going to reach below this low or not with the news? Now, let's have a look at our next level. Our next obvious level would be here. So we've retraced, broke through again, and now we are in this little pullback. And this area is now interesting. We're almost in it technically, but another wick to the downside, a reversal, and then something like this, continuation higher would be the preferred idea, because we then have a lower price. And technically this low should hold. We'll see if it does hold. However, if it doesn't and we do not close below here, Friday may be reassessment, and then this may happen. So let's just draw it out as a second possibility. So if we do go lower, but we don't close below, the market does tend to hunt people's stop losses. Traders get taken out before it continues in their direction. I'm sure you've had that happen to you plenty of time, when you've got the direction correctly, but the market took you out before actually heading in the direction that you expected. Okay, so pound yen continuing with the bullishness there. Okay, let's move on to the next one, and the next on the list was New Zealand yen, and as expected we wanted a pullback into the area, which we did, into the first area in this occasion, and we slowly headed higher. And what do we see? Well, just as we expected, we had a swing, we came back one more time, and then we continued higher, breaking, creating new highs, and now we're heading higher. So here we are going into target. We may now, we can now get rid of this one level and go into this last low as invalidation. And now this has in a way done its job. The next level we can look at is the obvious one over here. And then we want to see a better price. As always, getting a better price, and then once we begin that reversal phase, going into the next target, which is the extreme high up here. Quite simple, just as the market has given us what we are looking at, what we're expecting. So we're kind of just leaving it be and allowing it to do its thing, adjusting to it, and then making use of any other possible opportunities. So if we were looking at that, if you have not made the most of that, then this will be the next idea. But as always, manage your risk. This is just an idea. I am looking at the New Zealand yen as bullish, obviously, and New Zealand is gaining strength. Yen is overall weak. It makes sense to buy New Zealand yen. All right, let's go to Euro New Zealand now. That was the next on the list. And this is what we looked at. We looked at the level lower, the cheaper price to go into, and then head higher. What did we have? Well, we did not actually reach into that. We just missed it by a few pips, and instead we went higher. And now we're having this pretty choppy price action. We have broken through these highs, multiple highs. Let's go to the lower time frame. So here we've broken through this high, created a high, created another high, higher high here, higher lows. And we also have a gap here. So not quite clear yet. We're breaking through, but coming back down. It is not a clean setup, I have to say. I would still prefer to get down here before heading higher and looking for that buy, because, well, that was the plan initially, and I want to stick to the plan and trade the plan. Plan the trade, trade the plan. You may have heard of that before. And the thing is that if we start messing around with this idea and then trying to modify it when we do not have any clear picture of what's going on, then it's just not high probability, and we only want to enter the highest probability, good quality setups and be consistent with that. Okay. So this is the first idea. Let's have a backup or a second plan, which would be a break of the last obvious high. If we get a break of that, and then a retracement and continuation to the upside, getting a cheaper price here, then the level would then be over here. You may be able to see this level. You can in fact look to the left. You can see there's a bit of a level there if we break this high. Okay, but that is yet to be seen. So we have the level above, the level below. We've got these two reference points, and then we can act according to what the market tells us. So that's Euro New Zealand as a buy. The reason, if you actually think about it, that we are hesitating here is because New Zealand is strong and we are buying Euro New Zealand, which means it should be the reverse. If New Zealand is strong, then we should be selling Euro New Zealand, but we're not. And therefore we are having this hesitation, and it makes sense that the market is slow, choppy, a little bit unclear, unpredictable. Best to wait and see what happens first. No harm in waiting. The more we wait, the more clarity we have, and then get into the market. Right, let's move on to the next one, shall we? Pound Swiss. We looked at the bullish idea. We've broken through this high. We are now retracing back down. We've had this level, but we have, what happened, broke right through the level, even though we've not yet invalidated it. What is going to happen here now? Well, we do not know. That's why we preferred the break of the structure. Again, we're having a range, a kind of unclear situation, a little bit similar to Euro New Zealand in the fact that it's not quite obvious what is going on. We've got this very choppy, very funny candles going on. It's really unclear. So the high probability scenario remains like so. A clear break higher, pulling back, and then continuing to the upside. We also have this scenario that I looked at earlier, but we did not break higher. The market ran lower. And let's see what happens if we invalidate. Here's our invalidation, and then we'll just leave it to the side. We do have a possible trend line forming. Therefore, what this means is that if we come back one more time and we respect this trend line, whatever we want to call it, bounce off it, then we may have a move higher, but we'll have to see when we get there if we do. For now, let's wait until this low is broken and then move from there. Okay, moving swiftly on to New Zealand CAD, and New Zealand CAD was also a buy, just like New Zealand yen, strengthened in New Zealand. We had this retracement down into this level. We moved away. Yep, we moved away. We have broken the last obvious high. There was a trend line here that was broken, if that's what you want to call it, and then we came back down, and exactly as planned, coming back down, retracing to get a better price and continue upwards, which is what is happening right now. And yeah, I mean, we're following the plan, and it is, so far, it's not always going to happen like this, as sweetly as this, as accurately as this, but sometimes it does. And this is one of those occasions. So, okay, allowing the market to do its thing and heading higher. We do want to break these structural highs and these structural highs here to the left, reach our targets before considering another possible opportunity later. But that is down the line for now. The market is slowly and gradually moving in its direction. Okay, Aussie New Zealand. We have had Aussie New Zealand, just as expected, another one that worked out very sweetly with a strong New Zealand. That means Aussie New Zealand is weak to the downside, and we had this broken structure, a move back into this level, and then a sell-off, which is exactly what we looked at and exactly what has happened. Very clean, very nice, into this target point. We cleared this target point, and the next one will be this one down here. So now let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. This was the structure that was broken. This was the invalidation, and now the new invalidation becomes the latest swing high, which is up here. And what we've got is now a move to these lows. Now it becomes riskier, becomes lower probability to continue selling. There is a little bit of a level here, which you can see. However, it's now becoming risky because we're approaching our target point. And on a higher time frame, we did say that we're looking at this area to buy from, but we'll see when we get there, if we get there. For now, hopefully you have made use of this idea, and yeah, this is proving very smooth on this occasion. Quite unusual for the Aussie New Zealand, I have to say, because it is a very funky pair. It's kind of choppy, it's unpredictable, it's really not a nice pair to trade, not a smooth pair to trade from my experience. But this is on the rare occasion that we are looking at it, because it is producing something that it is a higher probability scenario. So like I was saying, the pullback to a better price to get into our target may be an idea with the invalidation at the high, obvious high, but this is kind of touch and go. It's neither here nor there. It's not many pips away, so risky. Okay, it's the Aussie New Zealand, as you can see, clearly continuing on this structural break of these lows, heading into the low as expected. Okay, let's now go into oil. Oil, we always had a short bias, which is just where the market has gone. And on Tuesday we were saying that if we get a better price, then we look to sell again. But well, what has happened? Well, we never reached the level. We had the high, and now we are slowly moving into a retracement phase. Now, the next place would be this area to be interested in. So once again, as you may have guessed, the area here, a retracement to get a better price, and then continuing to the downside. This is the next obvious area. However, there is no clear invalidation, and the validation is all the way up here. As you can see, that is a long distance away. And the problem with that is you're going to have a very big stop loss, and it just may not be worth the trade. Now, what we want to see is a much better price, and the preferred level would be up here still. Therefore, if we have a retracement off here, we may create a high, which you may want to take a risk. If you want to take a risk, it's not going to be very high probability because we are at a very low point, cheap point, and this would be the much higher probability scenario. We'll have to maybe wait for a bit more price action to develop, and we'll see whether we have this area respected or this area. So again, just like the Aussie New Zealand, not the best one as it stands because we have no reference point. So far, we are well sold off. Right, yep, that is it for oil, and we are now back with the dollar. Let's see where the dollar heads. If we break past this high here, which may happen, and not invalidate this low, and that would add the likelihood that the dollar is going to go bullish once again into these highs. For now, we wait and see. We do have news later on today. If you're watching this video on today being Thursday, as has been released, so it'll be relevant for you, but otherwise watch for Friday. As you can see, price action develop in the London session. All right, thank you for joining me on today's video. My name is Dima, and I will catch you on Sunday's market analysis, where of course we'll have some more setups and we will look further into the week with more opportunities. Thanks for joining me, and bye for now.